Hi, today we're going to brown butter for our brown butter chocolate chip cookies. The recipe calls for 2 sticks of butter, 1 pound of butter, and it's salted butter. So I have those in my pan with the temperature about medium. Now this is going to get quite bubbly and foam, so we'll keep an eye on it and get it stirred down as soon as that happens. Now I had this sitting out at room temperature because I had some stuff going on this morning, but you can start from frozen as well if you freeze like I do, and just sit and wait. Stir it a little bit. Now we're looking for this to get browned, not really dark. The smell will turn, you'll get brown flecks underneath, and it gives it a nutty flavor without having to spend money on, expensive nuts like walnuts, pecans, etc. And just kind of gives you that umami type of flavor in there, adds that extra depth to your chocolate chip cookies. I kind of fell in love with brown butter a while back. Unfortunately, I don't do it that often, but when I do, it's a nice treat. You can see the milk fat separating. This is also how you get clarified butter, which is like ghee, and all sorts of other things that you can do with butter. I'm going to keep stirring it, hoping it doesn't get super thick and foamy, because I want to make sure I can see the brown start to develop underneath. And it takes time. It's not a quick thing, and if you do try to do it quickly, you'll burn the butter and then you'll have to throw it out, which in this day and age, butter is too expensive for that. Really starting to foam now. I'm going to turn it just a tad bit down, but it's still right around 5. it down to 4 because I don't want it to boil over. It's a smaller pan and it's stainless steel, so it can definitely increase the chances. I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. We're about 6 minutes and 30 seconds into this, and it's still not browning yet, so like I said, it'll take a little bit, and gotta keep an eye on it because it will sort of turn right away. You want to keep an eye on the color. Make sure that it doesn't get too dark. It's still pretty yellow, so we still have a little ways to go. And you can see, if I stop stirring, how lovely it gets. It's really hard to see the color underneath, so I'm going to keep stirring. You can start to smell that nutty flavor. Heavenly. I don't know if you've ever been to the old spaghetti factory, but they have brown butter and Mizithra, and oh my goodness, Brown butter and cheese on pasta is just heavenly. Trying to make sure those milk fats get in there because we want them to get nice and browned and toasty. It adds that flavor to the dough. Still yellow underneath there. Got a little ways to go. Brown butter over gnocchi would be amazing. Sorry, the smell is just making me dream of all the things I want to put brown butter on now. Ooh, it's getting close. I'm going to show you how to make a chocolate chip cookie, but not just any chocolate chip cookie. It's going to be a brown butter sourdough chocolate chip cookie. So I have most of my ingredients together and I want to get right into it. And the first thing I want to do is get the brown butter that we did earlier in here and make sure that it's all nice and in there. You can see all the brown butter flakes. That just gives it that nice nutty flavor without even putting in nuts. So it's a little more economical, especially in these times. And it just brings like a whole nother umami flavor profile to chocolate chip cookies. As if they weren't good enough, but you know, always gotta try new things, especially me. Okay, now that the butter's in, we need to add a cup of the sugar. It's white sugar. And then a cup of brown sugar. Now I use dark brown sugar in all my baking. Some call for light. You can use light if it calls for it, but I always use dark just because I like things to be a little bit moister than the average, and the dark will make things moister and it just tastes really good. So we'll go ahead and whip that up. Now that that's together, I'm going to put that off to the side for a second, and because we need to do 3 eggs, and separate them. So you can always get an egg separator. But I like to do it by hand. Just because it's just as easy. So here's my 3 eggs. And I get 2 containers here. And I just use a shell to do this. So let the white fall in and just pass back and forth. No worries if you dump that in. Like I said, you can always get an egg separator, but it's just easy. Maybe takes a few minutes longer. Now you can use for egg whites and other things. You can cook them up, right? And they're healthy protein, but also, oh no, I'm gonna try and catch this. I got most of it, it's fine. Or you can make meringues. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention as well as I should have been on that one. All kinds of good stuff you can do. There we go. Now you have your 3 eggs separated. Wash your hands. The recipe calls for just the yolks, so bring the KitchenAid back and we will add the 3 yolks in here. Alright. Now we'll beat those in together with the sugars and brown butter for a couple minutes. Alright, see how creamy that is now? Now we're going to add in the 1 cup of sourdough discard. scrape down the sides too while we have the beaters off. Okay. Now we'll let that mix up. And then we're just going to do the 1 cup until it's just barely combined. Alright, looks pretty good. Now it's time to add the baking soda. So need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. These little boxes are really nice. And then 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then half a teaspoon of salt. Thankfully the author and I like the real salt, so I don't have to worry about dialing it back with the salt. But I also don't want to get too much in there. And we'll add in the teaspoon of vanilla, which, if you know me, I always add in more because vanilla makes everything better. It's like garlic, you know, measure with your soul. Okay. Now we're going to mix this until it's just combined. Okay, now that that's combined, we're going to go ahead and add the flour. I need 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm using 1/3 because that's what's in my container. And then, obviously, 1/4 cup. And since I'm not weighing, I hope I didn't add too many because I kind of lost track of numbers. And I know at least one of my viewers will appreciate that. Okay, it says to hand mix it, but I'm dealing with some wrist issues, so I'm going to use the thing real quick and just get it started. Alright. Now that that's done, I can take this off. Maybe. Get the dough off. Get as much in the pan as possible, otherwise I'll eat it all. I'm sure none of you are like that. Will a cookie go missing before it gets baked? Most likely, especially if I have helpers. Okay, I'm gonna take this off. Move this out of the way. And then it says to put in 12 ounces of chocolate chip cookies, or I mean chocolate chips. And since I have, that's a standard bag, but since I use the big bags from Costco, I'm going to measure it with our scale. That was only 2 ounces, so we got a long ways to go. But I finished the bag, so that's good. One less thing in the freezer. Alright, almost there. Ooh. And a little extra for good measure. Okay. Now I will get a bigger spoon to mix that in, because this little one won't work. Take this out. And then just mix the stuff together. Well, this is also good for making sure you have all the ingredients mixed together inside as well. Try and get it to be throughout, you know, nice distribution of chocolate chips. Next step is to cover this and put it in the fridge for a half an hour or more. The more you let it go and ferment, the more sour it becomes. Although I've done it before for like 4 hours and I didn't notice the difference. So it just needs time in there, and then we'll take it out. Chocolate chip cookies now after they've been sitting in the fridge for most of the day. So it calls for baking at 350. And I will come over here and put the dough balls onto the prepared sheets, and I put parchment paper over them because it just makes life easier. I'm going to take my dough ball scoop. These are really nice and handy for many reasons, and scoop out the chilled dough and start placing them on the parchment paper. give them plenty of space. This is the first time I've made this one. I'm not sure what exactly they will spread out like, so try to give them some space. Maybe not as much as I should, but oh well. Voila. First set is ready to go into the oven. And I will prep the other ones, make my life easier. I don't feel like there's enough room down here, so I'm going to put one here, and that's probably it for this one. Not sure why I didn't get as much on that one. And then just repeat on the other pan. Our oven is at 350, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in. And then set a timer for 13, almost at 13 minutes, and I can smell them, so just do a quick peek. Yeah, a little bit more. Looks like they might be ready to pull out. That's looking tasty. Now we have fresh chocolate chip cookies for dessert. And that's it. Easy as that. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions.